Hello.
Hi.
Happy Sunday to you, and hope you had a great 4th of July. We are here for your Sunday card reading of the day.
Yes. Um, you may or may not know, Dan and I filmed the whole reading and the whole sermon yesterday, but we didn't check the sound first. We've never had like a sound problem, so we didn't think about it. So we're re-recording. So that's okay. We're gonna roll with it, and we're gonna try to channel all of the same things. Um,
Or whatever God has, because God's always
there might
fresh.
be new messages too.
Yeah.
So for this um, sermon, the topic that God gave us was spiritual warfare. And God said, absolutely, you have to get a new Oracle card deck specifically for this sermon. And so I did a little research and we went to Barnes and Noble um, in Madison and we got The Oracle of Heaven and Hell by Travis McHenry. Harness the power of the angels and demons. It is a really cool deck. And we're just going to pull the same cards that were already pulled yesterday because that was definitely the message.
And to be clear, the way I read that, we're not going to be harnessing the power of demons. We're going to be, what these cards offer is a mix of the light side of something and maybe the shadow or the block that can be healed so that you can, live in a fully balanced state.
So the first card is 72, Mamiya, Endings and Rebirth. So the on the angelic realm, the message is endings and rebirth. But if you flip it, so what this card does is it kind of takes something and its angelic meaning and then its demonic meaning. The flip side for this card, Andromedus, is despair and suicide. And so this is such an important thing. I talk about suicide a lot. My biological half brother committed suicide when he was 24. Anything that you experience in life becomes part of your life purpose. And suicide is an extremely important thing to talk about. We can't stop talking about it until there's zero suicides on the planet. Um, the meaning of this card is in regard to spiritual warfare, heaven and hell, is that when you are going through an ending and rebirth, now I'm paranoid that the audio is going to cut out.
Just trust. We
When
already
you are
trusted.
going through an ending and rebirth, angels will if you're tuned into the angelic realm, into what is holy and good, if you're tuned into God, you will know that it's an ending and rebirth. However, during those times of endings and rebirth, the demonic realm, Satan, demons, are going to actually fill you with despair and thoughts of suicide. So, um, so this happened to my brother. This has happened to me. A lot of times when people commit suicide, it's because their soul feels trapped and really bad, or they're looking for an escape. And they believe that the only way to experience an ending and a rebirth is to commit suicide. They believe that that is the pathway to their ending and transformation and rebirth and fresh start. But that is a trick of Satan, it's a trick of demons, it's a trick of ego. Um, One of my favorite musicians of all time, Kurt Cobain. I want to talk more about Kurt Cobain. I love Kurt Cobain. I know a lot of people love Kurt Cobain. He was one of my favorite musicians of all time. I've studied a lot about his mental health and well-being and thoughts, and of course, watched interviews of him right leading up to his suicide. And what he was wanting is he was wanting to go into a new era for himself. He wanted to branch off and do his own solo music. He was feeling almost having like an identity crisis. Of course, he was also doing drugs and getting trapped into addiction. Um, but at the end of the day, um, when you are going through an ending and a rebirth, what Satan and ego and demons are going to try to do is pull you down with despair and even plant thoughts of suicide ideation in your head. It's a form of spiritual attack. And when you listen to that side, you're letting Satan win instead of God. Because if you tune into God, um, God has a path for you forward, but you can get tricked and taken down by the other side, so to speak. And so this is really important to talk about. Do you have anything else to say about that card in particular? Anything that
Well, it's why, in Teachings of Union, never give up is one of the most important teachings, because you are a child of God. There's nothing more powerful than God and you. So anything that happens, you can break through. And it's actually any time you're going through a deep challenge, it's because you're about to break through to something even better. So never give up. You will succeed.
in the book it says, Mumaya, angels, God, the end of the universe, Psalm 116:7, return unto thy rest, O my soul, for the Lord hath dealt bountifully with thee. Those born under Mumaya are distinguished in medicine and unveil secrets of nature. Mumaya protects in mysterious operations, brings success in all things, governs chemistry, physics, and medicine, and influences health and longevity. Sole guardian of those born between 11:40 p.m. and midnight. Moral guardian of those born on May 30th, August 10th, October 21st, January 1st, or March 14th. Physical guardian of those born between March 10th and March 14th. Andromedus Earl. One thing that's interesting is my brother, my biological half brother who killed himself, his middle name was Earl. The 72nd spirit in the order is Andromolius. He is a great and mighty earl who appears in the form of a human holding a great serpent in his hand. His office is
I can't. I disgusted with all that shit.
so Andromelus's office is to bring back both a thief and the goods that were stolen, and to discover all wickedness and underhanded dealings, and punish all thieves and other wicked people. Andromalius also discovers treasures that are hidden and rules over 36 legions of spirits, servant of those born between March 10th and March 14th. So, do you have anything
I think I'm
to
complete
add
with
about
that. Yeah.
that? Cool. So, don't, when you feel despair and suicidal, that is of Satan, that is of ego, and it's okay. But just know that that isn't God you're dealing with.
And there are tools available to help you work through those processes, because there always is another side to that, which is God, a breakthrough with God. You just need to have divine tools, like loving yourself, mere exercise, support from therapists, whatever it might be.
Friends, family,
Yes.
church.
Spiritual support in whatever way that resonates with you to move through that, because there is a light on the other side.
Perfect. The next card is Hamaya 38, Ritual and Ceremony. That's the angelic realm, ritual and ceremony. And then the demonic side is Helphas, falsehood. So, what the meaning I get is that having rituals and ceremonies are really important. However, what you don't want to do is let ritual and ceremony block you from God. So, what I mean by that is um, what I mean by that is sometimes we can be really dedicated to our daily routines, or if we're part of a church or religion, or we have any sort of obligation or anything that keeps us, even like daily yoga, for example, anything that grounds us and keeps us in a state of ritualism and ceremony, like that's all good and everything. But the flip side of that is don't let rituals and ceremonies keep you in a place of rigidity. Um, for example, I have an anecdote from spiritual boot camp that really correlates to it being 4th of July weekend. And that is when it was 4th of July when we were in spiritual boot camp. Um, Jeff was like, Deanna, go ahead and leave the laundry in the dryer. Don't worry about the chores of the day. Let's focus on having fun. And so God does invite you to break with routine in order to draw you closer to Him, her. God will interrupt your plans and stop your life to talk to you, like divine intervention. And so while ritual and ceremony, like going to church every Sunday, having your prayers, doing your yoga, um, that supports you and helps you flourish. At the same time, don't let those things prevent you from flowing with God and breaking out of that if God is calling you to put your energy towards something else. I hope that makes sense.
Well, it's about having divine rituals. What this is saying is a divine ritual in your life is something that will root out falsehood and just help you be more of you, help you become greater, more who you are. So, like Deanna said, that 4th of July example, that was accepting that God was calling us to the ritual of 4th of July to better ourselves. So, you want to not just blindly follow ritual, but make sure you understand how it's enhancing you and bettering your life.
So, from the book, Hamaya Powers, the Honorable God, Psalm 91:9, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. Hamaya may be asked to help acquire all the treasures of heaven and earth. This angel will protect against fraud, weapons, wild beasts, and infernal spirits, and governs all that relates to God. Sole guardian of those born between 12:20 and 12:40 p.m. Moral guardian of those born on April 26, July 7th, September 17, November 28, or February 8. Physical guardian of those born between September 21 and September 25. Halfaz, Earl. The 38th spirit, Halfaz or Maltaz, is a great earl who appears in the form of a stock dove and speaks with a hoarse voice. His office is to build up towers and furnish them with ammunition and weapons, and to send soldiers to appointed places. He rules over 26 legions of spirits, servant of those born between September 21 and September 25th. Ready for the last card?
Mm-hmm.
The last card is number 46, Ariel, Perception and Revelation. And the demonic side is spiritual troubles. So, what I get from this card is that when you are experiencing having spiritual troubles, when I find myself in times of trouble, Mother Mary comes to me, speaking words of wisdom, let it be. What's actually happening is you're gaining new perceptions and having new revelations. And so, yeah, angels would tell you you're having revelations, you're gaining new perception. It's time for new energy. But demons or ego will tell you, oh, you're just having spiritual troubles. And so it really just is all about perspective and perception.
Well, another way to understand it is, and Jeff and Slade talk about this, any spiritual trouble is the result of wrong perception. They literally say all you need is the truth to align yourself perfectly to God and to bring that truth to every part of your being. So, any place you're having trouble, that's the spiritual work. You can do the spiritual work, align your consciousness to truth, and you will realign yourself um, to the happy, beautiful state that you're meant to live in.
So, from the book Ariel Virtues, the Revealing God, Psalm 145:9, the Lord is good to all, and his tender mercies are over all his works. People born under Ariel's influence have a strong and subtle mind, capable of new and sublime thoughts, and also are discreet and circumspect. Ariel can procure revelations and will thank God for the good he sends us. He discovers hidden treasure. reveals the greatest secrets of nature, and causes the object of your desire to be seen in dreams. Sole guardian of those born between 3 and 3:20 p.m. Moral guardian of those born on May 4th, July 15th, September 25th, December 6th, or February 16th. Physical guardian of those born between October 31 and November 4. Bifrons, Earl. The 46th spirit, Bifrons, Bifrus, or Bifros, is an earl who appears at first in the form of a monster. However, after a while, and at the command of the exorcist, he puts on the shape of a man. His office is to make people knowing in astrology, geometry, and other arts and sciences, and he teaches the virtues of precious stones and woods. Bifrons changes the location of dead bodies and makes lights that appear as candles upon the graves of the dead. He has under his command 6 legions of spirits, servant of those born between October 31 and November 4. So, um, yeah. In regard to the mention of monsters, there is a song "Monster" by Justin Bieber and Shawn Mendes. I adore that song. I love their partnership in that. Dan and I have literally danced to their music video. We love that song. But in that song, it says, like, you put me on a pedestal and tell me I'm the best, raise me up into the sky until I'm short of breath. Fill me up with confidence. I say what's in my chest. Um, oh, I forgot. But basically, it's like, what if I trip? What if I fall? Then am I the monster? Just let me know. And so, what consciousness is calling for is more balance in regard to understanding what people are dealing with on the spiritual awakening path. Some people do deal with kind of darker things. When you're on the spiritual awakening path, you're clearing out lifetimes and lifetimes of patterns and stuff that doesn't belong there. And just be compassionate with yourself, but also really compassionate with others, because it's not always easy, and everyone needs to support each other instead of judge each other. We don't want to punish each other. Um, and I think you said in this reading yesterday, I'm just going to repeat it for you. You said, it's always darkest before the dawn.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of like, don't let yourself get lost. Um, yeah.
Yeah, there's always a breakthrough ahead if you don't give up.
And really, like the oracle of heaven and hell, what unionism is designed to do in its highest vision, its highest form, is to completely bridge the gap between people who are stuck in a hell consciousness and people who are in the highest vibrations. Unionism encompasses all children of God in every era, whatever they're going through. And, you know, the difference between heaven and hell is really kind of just a mindset shift. However, um,
It's more than that. As you shift your mind, you will literally manifest heaven on earth
what I was
through embracing the truth.
what I was meaning to say is it's really easy to say that, but we can all help each other when we're in those hellish places, remind each other of heaven again. And that's what we're here to do, is to just keep reminding each other, like, you know, um, don't forget, don't forget about God. Don't forget about love. Like, let's focus on the light. We can all just keep reminding each other.
Sounds good. Anything else you want to say?
No, I think that's it for the card reading. Thank you for your patience for us having to refilm it.
And we'll see you in the starting.
Okay.